Senator Lindsey Graham, who salivates at the mere thought of going to war with Iran, told Barak Ravid, an Israeli insider and reporter over at Axios, that Trump is surrounded by people who are advising him against attacking Iran. Now, I didn't believe it just based on Trump's actions and behavior, but here's what he says, quote, "I understand concerns about major military operations in the Middle East given past entanglements. However, the voices who counsel against getting entangled seem to ignore the consequences of letting evil go unchecked." Now, he's not talking about Israel, he's talking about Iran. He continues, "It's increasingly clear to me that voices opposing entanglement and the risk associated with decisive action are getting louder. Time will tell as to how this plays out." Now, in an entirely separate report, Barak Ravid also claimed that the Joint Chiefs Chairman, General Dan Kane, is the one that's advising President Donald Trump against a prolonged conflict in Iran. Now, Trump later denied this claim in a lengthy essay he posted on Truth Social. Now, Kane, according to this report, has been the only military leader briefing Trump in recent weeks on the issue of Iran. And that same report, again by Barak Ravid, claims that Marco Rubio has been a bit of a fence sitter on Iran because he's too preoccupied with toppling Cuba. That's the only part of the report that I can fully believe, right? But here's the thing, I don't trust Ravid personally, and highlighting a specific general who might be advising Trump against a prolonged conflict with Iran might be a way of ousting him or getting the ball rolling on ousting him.
Yeah, so it might be. So let's break it down one by one. Did General Kane say that Iran is not going to be as easy as Venezuela and then it might take weeks or months? Well, if he didn't, he's an idiot, because literally every general thinks that. That's not even close to a conversation. Because in Venezuela, all we did was kidnap the leader. Now that's very difficult, and they did a brilliant job tactically, strategically. I think it's a disaster. Policy-wise, it's a disaster, but tactically, they nailed that one. But in this case, we're not talking about that. We're talking about taking out more of their uranium facilities, although they're destroyed, their ballistic missiles. Not just taking out the Ayatollah, but taking out the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. Well, that's a full-blown war, and that won't take weeks or months. That'll take years. So if General Kane did not make Trump aware of that, he should be fired. Because you have to prepare whether you're going to go in or not. You can't get surprised, right? So my guess is that he's a competent enough general that he did say that. So now the question is that somebody just doing good reporting, to Anna's point, or someone outing him? Well, now Trump just came out right before we came on air live and said, so these people with their fake news about General Kane. And he said he's brilliant and he's didn't warn about a long war at all, thinks we could do this right away. But he added something that I really wanted to read to you guys because it's really important. Trump said he has not spoken of not doing Iran, referring to Kane. He has not spoken of not doing Iran or even the fake limited strikes that I have been reading about.
Oh, okay, so you're planning on doing a prolonged military campaign in Iran on behalf of Israel, essentially going back on all of reneging on your campaign promises, which isn't surprising. We live in America, and our politicians usually do renege on their campaign promises. But nonetheless, this will be a deeply unpopular war. It hasn't even started yet, and the majority of Americans are against it. Polling indicates that somewhere around 20% of Americans are in support of this war, and they're all Zionists. So have at it. But Republicans are toast. Okay, you can already kiss the midterms goodbye. But in terms of the next presidential election, this will make the Republican Party deeply, deeply unpopular because Americans are sick of these entanglements, especially in the Middle East. And it's just so clear that this isn't about benefiting the US. This is about benefiting a foreign country that leeches off of our resources and drags us into prolonged wars on a regular basis.
Yeah, so two different polls out actually. One, and this is a little bit back now, the momentum is building even more against this war, but one had it at 70% against the war. The other one had it at 85% of Americans are against this war.
Good.
So why are we even having this conversation? Do we live in a democracy or don't we?
We don't.
So if over 75, you combine the two polls, if over 75% of Americans don't want to go to this war, Why are we going? Oh, right, because of the donors, because the voters have no effect on policy. Thus, we've shared with you long studies done by Princeton and Northwestern that show the bottom 90% has a 0% effect on policy. The top 10% has an enormous effect. And of course, the very, very top, the donors basically control the country. So they control it in a lot of different ways, but when it comes to foreign policy, Israel's the king of controlling America. If you don't, we can keep, the only people still debating that are the Israel First guys who are just calling the entire country anti-Semites now. They're saying that anybody who doesn't want to go to this war is an anti-Semite. Well, that's 85% of the country. At a bare minimum, it's 7 out of 10 Americans. Okay, so now when we look at Trump saying, no, it's fake news, we're not going to do limited strikes, and it's fake news that General Kane is concerned about how long it'll take. He's basically saying, if I go in, we're going in all the way, full bore. Well, I mean, that it couldn't be a bigger disaster. So I don't really care too much about how we got here, whether they tricked Trump into it. Oh, you'll be so tough and it'll be an easy operation, just like Venezuela was and the first strike against Iran was. You'll be a hero, Donald Trump. Or they just gave him another couple $100 million because the Israeli lobby has given him over $300 million. Or they have blackmail, whatever the reason might be. Trump is perfectly aware that the American people definitely do not want this war. His campaign was anti-war, not pro-war. But now that he's in office, he is listening, it appears, 100% to Israel. And if they do actually start this war, then the debate is over. Our government is compromised. Donald Trump works for Israel, not for America. Picture this, it's midnight, you're in bed, shopping cart full on Shop TYT. But your wallet's on the other side of the room. Oh no, you don't want to get up. Nobody wants to get up. Oh, then you see the purple Shop Pay button, which has your payment and shipping information saved and ready to go. The day is saved. That seamless checkout experience is all thanks to Shopify, which makes buying your next piece of TYT merch a breeze. Shopify is the platform behind 10% of all e-commerce in the US. Shopify gives you that leg up on the competition with hundreds of beautiful, ready-to-go templates to express your brand's unique style. Tackle all those essential tasks in one place, from inventory to payments to analytics, and expand your brand reach with built-in marketing and email tools. And I already mentioned that awesome purple Shop Pay button. It's why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet. See fewer carts go abandoned and more sales go with Shopify and their Shop Pay button. Sign up for your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/TYT. Go to shopify.com/TYT. That's shopify.com/TYT. We already know Congress works for Israel. So then we get to the super hard question of, what are we gonna do to take our government back? Because if we lose soldiers in Iran, which we almost certainly will, they'll have died for a different country. It's already cost us billions of dollars. Iraq got into the trillions. Iran is 4 times the size of Iraq. So where do we go to get our money back? Where do we go to get justice from a government that has been captured by a different country?
We're $40 trillion in debt, and that debt began to blow up as we started fighting Israel's war in Iraq in 2003. So our country is a dying country, and it's specifically because everything we do seems to be centered on a foreign country that we should not be in any way associated with at this point.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.